If you've been searching for the best music set for toddlers or preschoolers or even babies, we think we have officially found it, and that is the new Lovevery Music Set. That's right, Lovevery is back with another bundle of toys for you guys. I have reviewed the best music toys for babies and the best music toys for toddlers in the past, and I have to say this far surpasses anything I have found to date for this age range. In this review, I will cover what's inside the Lovevery Music Set, including dupes if you were to try to self-curate this set on your own, which is very hard, and I'll close it off with a discussion of our personal experience and the financial comparison. If you guys are new here, my name is Rachel from The Confused Mom. Welcome to my channel. I share baby and toddler product reviews, activities, as well as Montessori at home tips. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and I have reviewed all of Lovevery's play kits to date, as well as some of their bigger anchor products like their block set, the play shelf, and more. I will leave links to that full playlist and the entire page on my blog to research all things Lovevery. Before we jump into what's inside this box, I kind of want to talk a little bit about the bold statement I made in the opening of this, which is what makes Lovevery's music set so good compared to the other sets out there. So most music sets for toddlers and babies are simple percussion wooden instruments, are fun for circle time or playing around the house, but they're not particularly unique or enriching. Lovevery sought to remedy this with some of their more unique musical instrument choices included in this set, as well as their rhythm and music book, which is an extremely detailed guide that teaches music notes, circle time songs for toddlers, and the metronome that comes in here too even can help teach toddlers learn how to keep a beat or rhythm. And lastly, probably one of the most invaluable parts of this play kit is the hefty guide for parents broken down by age, which includes a ton of activities for ways to repurpose the musical instruments into your active play so they don't just sit on a play shelf. In other words, if you've been wondering how to encourage music in your toddlers, this is going to be your most complete guide for doing that. In terms of what's inside the Lovevery Music Set, first we have this color tabbed pan flute. It's sort of a hybrid between a pan flute and a harmonica, where your child blows into it harmonica style so the air goes over the tubes pan flute style. The color-coded tabs correlate to the musical notes which coincide with the pat bells and the colors included in the rhythm and songs book. It's really beautiful, lightweight, and some people might not love that it's plastic because you can, in terms of finding the dupes for it, find some wooden or bamboo dupes. Those are going to be a little bit more complex for little kids. They don't have that easy to learn harmonica kind of mouth opening piece, most of the wooden ones, and then they also teach a lot more notes. This is very, very targeted, only teaching 5 notes. So targeted, in fact, that I could not find any pan flute dupes that only taught 5 notes. So the most similar ones I could find were these two, plastic, that have that little kind of harmonica style mouthpiece. And I will link everything I show you guys in terms of dupes in the description box below, as well as in the blog post version of this video for you guys to go back, quick reference anything if you do want to self-curate it, as well as links to shop Lovevery's music set. And the last little note I want to make on duping a pan flute, you can also DIY a pan flute out of straws, which I will also have linked. The next item that comes in this play kit are the pentatonic pat bells. These feature a wooden tray and a combination of plastic and metal bells, which make noise when being tapped on the top. The colors again correspond with the pan flute and the rhythm and songs book for kids to learn their first 5 notes. I do think it's worth noting though that in order to make the bells ring, you do have to like tap them. If you go in with a light press, it's not gonna work. In terms of dupes for this is the most similar set I could find to Lovevery's. It comes with 8 bells instead of 5 though, and it also includes a music book for kids to start to learn their songs. What I do like about that set too is if you have multiple kids in the house, the colors correspond to Lovevery set, meaning if you were to buy that one, it will work with the music book included in Lovevery's. Next is the simple Concertina. Similar to an accordion, you press and pull the musical instrument and air goes past a small piece of metal inside that creates the musical sound. Unlike the accordion though, the simple Concertina has no buttons at the end. In terms of finding alternatives for this, the most similar one I could find was this one. There's no plastic on that one. Instead, the grips seem more like a material, which I don't know how durable that is compared to the plastic handles on Lovevery's. Lovevery's also plays in a C major chord. It doesn't sound like that that dupe, from the descriptions I read, is tuned to any particular chord. With that said, there's also a handful of other dupes that you could go with. Next are the loud and quiet stackable shakers. So this is kind of a basic instrument that you'll find in most music sets for toddlers and babies. But Lovevery did that was a little bit different here is they targeted the sounds of the music shakers. So instead of them all making the same sound, one's louder, one's quieter. And the other thing they did was they made them stackable, so you can play them as a separate instrument or together in one hand. In terms of dupes for this, the most similar one I could find is this one, which offers kind of smooth edges, making them quite stackable. However, I don't believe it has that loud and quiet differentiator. And of course, there are tons of egg-shaped shakers out there that you can choose from. And I do think there are like Montessori shakers that do have different tones. I didn't include them because it just would be such an unfair comparison in the sense of this is only 2 sounds, and I'm pretty sure those Montessori ones are like 8 sounds maybe. It actually takes you through various notes, possibly. Don't quote me on that. Next is going to be the Jingle bracelet and wooden handle, which is a really unique take on a classic toy you might remember from elementary school. What they did here was they made an elastic jingle bell bracelet that was safe for 18-month-olds and up because the bells are really big and you can't take them out. You can wear that on your wrist as a bracelet, you can wear that on your ankle as an anklet for a whole body rhythm experience, or you can take that bracelet and put it onto the wooden rattle portion of it and just make it a little baby rattle. I've never seen anything exactly like Lovevery's. Typically what I see are either like jingle bell sticks or jingle bell bracelets. Typically neither of those are going to be rated safe for 18 months old like Lovevery's. The next item included in here is the Rhythm and Songs book, and this is definitely the item that I think sets Lovevery so far apart than a lot of other music sets. This music book is a really unique and complete guide for introducing the basics of music to kids. It starts by walking kids through how to clap a note and then takes them through creating their own rhythm with visual cues. And then in the next section, it focuses on making a song with the pan, flute, or bells. And finally, in the last section, it includes classic circle time songs for toddlers, some Lovevery original songs, and in lieu of musical notes, they use the colors that match the pan, flute, and bells. In terms of finding dupes for this, there's nothing exactly like Lovevery's. Typically, the kids' beginner music book guides only are for piano or guitar, so nothing that really targets such simple instruments for toddlers the way Lovevery has done here. Another extremely unique toy that you do not see in toddler and baby music sets, the metronome. Typically metronomes are silent, but Lovevery's makes a clicking sound as an auditory cue for young learners. And it also has a green LED flashing light that goes with the clicking sound as a visual cue. In addition to that, the animals around the clock I think are such a brilliant move. It provides additional information about the relative speed. So for instance, 40 beats per minute is like a snail. So if you say go slow like a snail, it puts this into terms that is more accessible to the child. They'll understand that. And so now you can start to associate go slow like a snail. We're gonna do 40 beats per minute. Essentially, it's taking concepts that toddlers already know, run fast like a cheetah, and expanding it with those auditory and visual cues so that they can really learn how to keep pace with the music. In terms of dupes for this, obviously there's nothing with the animal factor like Lovevery. You can find some metronomes that do offer the auditory or visual cue. So in terms of whether or not the Lovevery music set is worth it, obviously I opened this video with saying I do think it is, but when we dig into the financials of self-curating it, what we find is it would cost about $100 on the lowest end of the dupes, or as much as $130 in order to self-curate this, with one very important factor in that I did not try to pull a dupe for this music book. A, because without actually sitting down to look at the music books, I have no idea if they're going to teach that clapping rhythm. B, the pat bells included as my dupe do include a little music book. And C, because most of the kids' beginner music books have to do with teaching piano or guitar. So keep that in mind. It's not necessarily like $100 because you are going to be losing out on both the music book as well as the play guide, which does include a lot of age-appropriate ideas for encouraging music in littles. So from a financial perspective, I would say it's pretty break even. If you are already musically inclined yourself, you may not think it's worth it because you have all of the knowledge to teach your child music. However, if you're like me, who has no idea what a note is, can't sing a tune to save her life, then this is probably something that you will find immense value in, because we all know music is so good for our developing brain. In terms of kids' engagement and enjoyment with the items, both of my kids have loved this. My 4-year-old runs around saying, look, we're in a band, and handing out all the different instruments. And it was also so good for her to work on that pan flute. So if you have a child that has any sort of oral issues or needing myofunctional therapy support, that pan flute I found to be phenomenal in helping her, which is another reason why like I'm so obsessed with this kit, because the whole like have your kid blow up a balloon thing, it doesn't work for our family, but that's probably a whole other topic and video in itself. My 2-year-old can play all of them except for the pan flute. He's still having a really kind of hard time mastering that. He gets it a little bit, but it's something he's definitely working toward. And of course, the most popular instruments with my kids in this are the ones that are not typically offered in musical sets for little kids, which would be the pat bells, the pan flute, and the simple concertina. My husband has even made up games with the metronome that are not necessarily music related, but where he turns it on and has them doing races around the house where they can only move their hands and feet on the beat. So there's just so much gross motor play that you can come up with that really makes music fun and not, I don't know, I just always think of like the old school, you're being forced to take piano lessons and you really hate it kind of thing. And this is like the opposite experience of that. My 2-year-old is quite rough on his toys. He has thrown these. They have shown to be quite durable. So far, we've had this for about a month now. Let me know in the comments, is this something you guys think you will add to cart? Is this something you're skipping? What are your kids' favorite musical instruments or toy sets? I'd love to hear it all. Make sure to hit that subscribe and notification bell, because I am going to be doing a playroom tour and showing you guys more in detail of our music corner. As always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend. Until next time, be sure to go back, check out those past Lovevery play kit reviews, more of my Montessori at home tips, and my name's Rachel. Have a good one.